Before the first word, before fire burned, before thought began to shape the world, the earth breathed in rhythms older than memory. 7 million years ago, in the heart of what is now Central Africa, the landscape was unrecognizable to any human eye. Endless forests stretched where deserts now stand, rivers cut through the land in slow, deliberate arcs, carving valleys and plains. The air was heavy with the scent of damp earth and green leaves. Insects thrummed in the shadows. Birds called across the canopy, and predators stalked silently through the undergrowth. Amidst this primeval symphony, a figure moved. Not yet human, not entirely ape, yet something extraordinary flickered in its being. It was the first step toward us. It had no language, no culture, no knowledge of what it was becoming. And yet, the choices it made, the steps it took, the struggles it endured, would ripple across millions of years, shaping the very possibility of humanity. Our story does not begin with clever tools, with art, or with fire. It starts here, in a world of shadows and sun, with a creature that would stand, sometimes hesitantly, purposefully, and in doing so, change the trajectory of life itself. This creature was Sahelanthropus tchadensis. The forests of Africa 7 million years ago were vast and alive, yet fragile. The climate was shifting. Rainfall was uneven. Some years the trees flourished, others they shrank, leaving open plains in their wake. Every season brought new challenges, and every challenge demanded adaptation. In these forests, creatures like Sahelanthropus lived on the edge, balancing survival with the subtle, imperceptible forces of evolution. Sahelanthropus was small in body, with a brain roughly the size of a modern chimpanzee's. Its face was short, its jaw robust, yet unremarkable. The eyes, dark and alert, scanned constantly for threats. Yet beneath this unassuming exterior lay something revolutionary. The foramen magnum, the hole at the base of the skull where the spine connects. Its position beneath the skull suggested an ability to stand upright, to rise above the ground in a way no one before had dared. He did not know he was a bridge, a first spark in a chain that would lead eventually to consciousness, to culture, to civilization. He only knew hunger, thirst, fear, and the need to survive another day. Around him, life moved in cycles both terrifying and wondrous. Birds flitted between the trees, insects swarmed the branches, and larger predators lurked in the shadows. Each step carried risk. Each pause was a choice. Yet in this small, precarious existence, the seeds of something greater quietly germinated. Sahelanthropus was a creature of instinct, yes, but also of observation. The forest had rules, rhythms, patterns that he learned to navigate. Fruit ripened in cycles. Predators hunted along predictable paths. Water could be found in certain hollows after the rains. Every day, he absorbed the lessons of the land, unaware that this simple, survival-driven knowledge would form the foundation for the first sparks of human ingenuity. The act of standing is simple to us. We do it without thinking. For Sahelanthropus, it was an experiment, a gamble against the pull of gravity and the threats of a world not made for the upright. The forests were shrinking. The savannas were encroaching. Food that had once been easy to reach in the trees now required reaching into new spaces. Predators prowled the open ground, faster and deadlier than anything in the branches. Yet necessity pressed him forward. Perhaps it began with hunger. A piece of fruit hung just beyond reach. He grasped at it from the ground, failed, and felt the subtle shift of weight on two legs. Maybe he did not understand why he rose, only that he could see further, that he could stretch beyond what his body had allowed before. The first steps were awkward, knees bent, arms flailing for balance, but with each rise, each tentative forward movement, he discovered perspective. The horizon opened. The world revealed itself. Shadows shifted. Movement became visible. The unseen, previously hidden in grass or forest, could now be perceived. To stand was not yet to conquer, not yet to dominate. It was a fragile survival tactic, and yet, in this simple act, the trajectory of life was altered. Hands freed from constant support on the ground could one day manipulate tools. Eyes lifted to the horizon could one day measure distance, track prey, and imagine future outcomes. The first spark of perspective, the first glimmer of what would become intelligence, was born not in thought, but in posture. The first step was not triumphant, it was a stumble into the unknown. Evolution does not care for comfort or fairness. It rewards the adaptable and discards the rest. Sahelanthropus lived on the precipice of extinction. Many of his kind would vanish, leaving no trace but the occasional fossilized bone. Yet in the bones that remained, in the fossil, discovered in 2001 by Michel Brunet and his team, we glimpse the dawn of what was to come. The forests he once knew continued to transform. Trees retreated, grasslands expanded, predators adapted, rainfall fading. In this harsh world, survival was fragile and miraculous. Sahelanthropus did not know he was laying the foundation for something extraordinary. His upright stance, his careful observation, his delicate navigation of danger, these were the very traits that would shape the future. And yet, the act of standing, of rising even for an instant above the earth left a legacy. This was the threshold of humanity, though humanity did not yet exist. The experiment was tentative, vulnerable, and incomplete. Many like Sahelanthropus would fail. Many lineages would vanish without leaving a trace. But evolution does not proceed in straight lines. It experiments, it iterates, it survives in the improbable. And from the dust and bones of Sahelanthropus, the next wave of ancestors would emerge. Imagine that first moment. Imagine a world untouched by humans. Imagine the wind through the trees, the smell of wet soil, the distant calls of predators and prey. A lone figure pauses. He lifts himself from the ground. The motion is hesitant, unpracticed, but deliberate. The world tilts differently beneath him. He stands. He does not know that this single, precarious, upright posture will shape the very possibility of humanity. Yet in that act, something profound occurs. Hands are freed. Vision is extended. The world becomes not only a space to survive in, but a canvas to observe, to understand, to one day shape. He steps forward. Each movement is cautious, tentative. The ground beneath him is uneven. The wind carries scents and sounds he could not perceive on all fours. The horizon stretches endlessly before him. It is terrifying. It is beautiful. It is life. Every step carries potential. Every breath carries hope. Every glance toward the distant horizon is an echo of what will become curiosity, invention, and consciousness. The first step is small, fragile, and entirely unremarkable to him. To us, looking back, it is everything. Sahelanthropus's world was immediate, visceral, unforgiving. Yet in the dust of Chad, his posture, his very stance, would reverberate across millions of years. The forests would fade, his kind would disappear, but the experiment persisted. Life, in its relentless and patient way, continued. And from these fragile beginnings, future ancestors would learn, adapt, and expand upon the lessons unknowable to him. He is gone, but his shadow stretches forward. Time swallows everything. Forests become deserts, rivers dry. Bones turn to stone beneath shifting sands. Yet evolution does not sleep. Far to the east, in the highlands of Kenya, another descendant rises. Longer legs, stronger bones, a more deliberate gait. He will walk with purpose. He will navigate the balance between ground and canopy with grace. He is tchadensis, not the first to stand, but the first to walk with intent. He continues the journey, carrying the spark that began with Sahelanthropus, forward into the unfolding story of life. The story of humanity has begun, though we will not appear for millions more years. And yet, from this first, fragile, upright step, everything we are becomes possible. And so, the first step echoes forward. The story continues, with the hidden walker.